You want to know what the best build is for Huo Huo because she is the best sustain in the game. I don't care what Pri 1 ranks her at, she is above Adventurine. I think she is the queen of sustain, and you want to know how to build her because you just pulled her, and she is amazing because first of all, she is really easy to build. She works in just about every single team comp you would want to throw her in, so that means she's super universal across every single team, and she has a lot of free-to-play options as far as light cones, everything like that goes as well. Let's go ahead and talk about everything today that you're going to be needing for Huo Huo when you're building her. Alright guys, so let's briefly go over a kit breakdown first to talk about what she kind of does because this will relate to the build we talk about later in the video. So first things first, what you need to know, she does scale off of HP, so you want to be feeding her a lot of HP because all of her healing is going to be scaling off that. So the skill move, guys, is going to be targeting one ally hitting adjacent allies. It'll be dispelling one debuff from that target ally immediately. So this is kind of how Lynx works, right? Or even Natasha, you use a skill on them that dispels a debuff, right? But it does have kind of like an AoE healing effect where you target that one ally and then the two adjacent allies get healed for a smaller amount. Not to say this is bad by any means because this is absolutely massive healing. If you're building her correctly, every one of these heals should be healing your team back up to max HP. But the skill is even more powerful than that because it does play off the talent move, guys. Because whenever she's going to be using her skill, she gains divine protection for 2 turns. So what this is going to be doing, guys, is every single time your ally comes back and does their turn or uses their ultimate move, it will be healing them back up. They basically get another heal to themselves, right? And if another ally is below 50% HP, that ally will get a free heal as well. So if you're running this on something like a blade or someone that consumes HP, this will automatically be bringing their HP back up just because of the fact that you're healing another one of your allies, right? So this is really beneficial when you're ult spamming. You basically heal the whole team back up to max HP again. Not only this, guys, is whenever you're healing that ally back up, it removes a debuff again. So this can happen up to 6 times. So basically she has 6 debuff removals based off of your ally's turn, which this makes her really SP efficient because realistically you won't need to use her skill to heal up things every 2 turns or so. So in between those turns you're able to basic attack and generate some SP for your team. But while we're talking about generation, her ultimate move generates something as well, and that's energy for the whole team. And this doesn't give you like 50 energy. This doesn't give you a set amount of energy. It's going to be giving you energy based off of your ally's max energy and an attack buff as well. And this is going to be lasting for 2 turns. The reason why this is going to be so huge is because say you have an ally that has a 180 energy cost, right? Giving them 20% energy back to them is going to be giving them 36 free energy, and that doesn't only apply to them. You give energy to the rest of the team as well. So while Ting Yun, yes, can give a bigger like singular energy count to one ally in her team, she's giving energy to everyone in your team. So that is actually going to be a higher amount of energy that she gives out than what Ting Yun can actually give out. So this is going to be super good for you to level up and use. This is the most important thing that you should be leveling up with her kit is the ultimate move. Now I want to go ahead and talk about her best in slot light cone. So obviously her best in slot light cone is going to be the Night of Fright, her signature light cone, because of the fact that this is going to be giving her extra energy regen, provides extra healing to the team, and then provides an extra attack buff as well. This is kind of like her ultimate move, but not for the rest of the team, mainly the energy regeneration for herself, and then the attack buff for the ally that's getting healed by her, which she can do from her talent move, which happens every time they use it. Oh, anyways, it's the best in slot light cone. That's what I recommend. Her second best in slot light cone, though, I know a lot of people will probably say post-op. Post-op is a pretty good light cone because it does give energy back, but you're only really taking use of the first part of the ability because of the fact that you're only getting the extra energy regen. You can't even proc the second part of this ability off. So that being the case, I can't recommend this as the second best in slot. I do think that the second best in slot is going to be perfect timing, and the reason I say this is because first of all, it's increasing her effect resistance, which is going to be super important. You do not want her to get CC'd. You need her to not be CC'd. I understand that her ability can remove debuffs, but if you're not targeting herself with her healing, she's not going to be able to remove the debuff from herself because she's not the one with the healing effect on her. I mean, that's really going to depend on where you have her at, but you don't want her to be CC'd, so that effect res does come in clutch. On top of that, it does provide her with some extra outgoing healing as well, meaning you're able to heal the team up more, every facet of healing. This is going to be, I think, the best all-around like 4-star light cone for her. And I think for the best free-to-play option that you can run on her, I think that Quid Pro Quo would be the best free-to-play option that you can run on her. I know some people say Cornucopia get the extra outgoing healing, but I think she has enough healing as is that you really don't need the extra outgoing healing from this. The reason I recommend perfect timing is because realistically you're getting a lot of that effect resistance, so she's not getting CC'd and debuffed a lot, so you're not necessarily having to heal her up a lot or worrying about her getting CC'd at all, so she can provide support for the rest of the team. But the reason I recommend Quid Pro Quo for the free-to-play slot is because if you're not really worried about that, nor do you have the light cone or something, then this will allow you to provide extra energy to the team, especially if you're running a team with like very high energy partners on the team, or I guess other characters that have like a very high energy cost, which if you're running on a team, that's probably a pretty high probability because her best in slot teams are teams that take a lot of energy. So this could be a very good option for you. Very easy to get S5 and it provides so much extra energy for those high energy targets that you have. I will mention one honorable mention, that being shared feelings. Now the reason I didn't put this in my top light cones is because it does increase the outgoing healing, which is fine and dandy. I really honestly don't think she needs the extra outgoing healing from this, but it also does provide energy every single time you use a skill for the whole team, which can be really beneficial. But this does make her more SP inefficient because you would be more inclined to use the skill more often with this because you need to use the skill to actually get the energy off for the rest of the team. That's the reason why I don't have it there. But yes, guys, let's now go ahead and talk about the part you've been waiting for, the relics. You want to know how to build her. You want to know how easy she is to build. But before that, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You might have made it to this part in the video just by watching, or maybe you clicked on the timestamp and you got absolutely scammed. Please hit that subscribe button, gamers. I would really appreciate it. The channel's in a massive decline right now. I see a bunch of gray arrows going down. It would really help the channel out, please God. Anyways, guys, let's now go ahead and talk about her best in slot relics, because honestly, one of the easiest sets to farm in the game, in my opinion. So her best in slot relic set is going to be the 4-piece hackerspace. Why? It's going to be giving her speed, and then whenever she uses her ultimate move, it's giving speed to the rest of the team. So that means now her ultimate not only gives attack and not only gives energy, it's also giving speed to the whole team as well. Super good set. You can farm this very easily, and you also can get the HP set as well, which I'll talk about in a second here. But this is going to be the best overall set that you can run for her. What is her second best in slot set is probably going to be the 2-piece of the hackerspace and the 2-piece of the healing set, just because it does increase her outgoing healing if for some reason you were having issues with the outgoing healing. Now, a set that I would like to recommend here that is, I think, easier to obtain than the second best in slot set is actually going to be 2-piece of the disciple, 2-piece of the hackerspace. Why? Because you can get both of these from the same domain. First of all, it's increasing her max HP, which then increases her healing as well. And then on top of this, guys, it's going to be increasing her speed. You can get either of these sets just by farming the domain. You'll actually probably get this set quicker than you can get the 4-piece hackerspace set. So it's still providing her the extra speed that you're going to be wanting to give her because she does want to be fast. This will help her out in that category and also increase her max HP, so maybe she's more tanky. So if she does get hit, you're not having to focus all of the healing on her. You can rather focus that on the other 3 allies in your team that really need the healing. Now, those are the best 4-piece sets that I can recommend. Let's go ahead now and talk about the best planar sets. I think the best planar set is going to depend on what team you actually have her on. If you're running on a dot team, then Ageless is going to be the best here. Why? Because it gives HP to her and then attack for the rest of the team. What does dot scale off of? Attack percentage. So you'll want to run Ageless here if you're running on a dot-oriented team. Now, if you're not running on a dot-oriented team, then obviously you can change this up. The HP does help her out overall in the long run, but not necessary at all. Number 2, guys, you can run Broken Keel. Broken Keel will be giving her some extra effect res, which is really, really nice because you do not want her to get CC'd. And then on top of this, guys, you'll be also getting some crit damage for the whole team. So if you're running on a crit-based team, this is going to be the best in slot set to run. Now, if you're pairing her specifically with a wind DPS, you can run Penacony, or if you're maybe running like an S3 or above post-op conversation, you can just run this as well to help supercharge and get her ult 1 turn quicker. But that's just if you're running it in that circumstance. That's going to be Penacony Land of the Dreams. Why? It gives you 5% energy regen rate, and then on top of that, guys, it'll also be giving you some extra damage percentage to the wind ally on your team. Why wind? Because she's a wind type character. So if you have a wind type character on your team, she's going to be really beneficial. And guys, if you're pulling the Foxy Mommy coming out soon, she also assists her as well. So might not be bad to farm this set up after all, is it? So now I want to go ahead and talk about the main sub and recommended stats for Huo Huo. So on the boots, guys, I recommend speed. You want her to be a speed demon. You want her to be as fast as humanly possible. Why? Because if she's as fast as possible, you can get her ultimate back up quicker, which means you're giving extra energy out for the team. Now, you might have to use the skill more often, but that's fine because she does generate SP in between those turns, which does does make it more beneficial in the long run. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the body piece, which is going to be outgoing healing. This will provide all the outgoing healing that you're ever going to need for her. You don't need any other outgoing healing, realistically, other than this piece right here. Now, let's go ahead and talk about the rope. ERR for the rope. You want as much energy back as humanly possible, so she's able to give energy for the rest of the team. Really huge there. And then finally, on the orb, you're going to be wanting an HP orb, an HP percentage orb. So she's able to, you know, give herself more HP, so she has more longevity. And then she'll be able to give more healing for the whole team. So let's go ahead and talk about some of these substats you're going to be wanting. HP, speed, effect, res. These are the main things you're going to be wanting to focus on. Speed, HP, the main focus, and then effect res, if you can get it. It is very highly rated that you get this, because I do think she can very easily obtain a 100% effect res. And what I mean by this, guys, if you're running her on an S1 perfect timing, broken keel, and then have her traces leveled up, you're going to be at 80% crowd control effect res. Now, of course, your other effect res is a bit lower, but the main thing here is not getting CC'd. So this will already be at 79-80%, which means you only need to get 20% effect res in the kit itself to actually have 100% of this, so she's never getting CC'd. Now, if you have an S5 perfect timing, this will become 95%, which means you only need 5% from your substats to actually reach this. So I do think that effect res is very important here, so she can be completely resistant to all crowd control debuffs. So that being said, let's go ahead and talk about all of the recommended stats now. As far as the recommended stats go, guys, your speed's gonna want to be bare minimum 134, and then effect res, like I mentioned before, guys, at least 20% or 21% effect res built into the kit. Now, this is only going to apply if you're running around perfect timing. That is going to get higher if you're not running perfect timing. That is one of the reasons why I recommend it. But that's really all I have to say today about Huo Huo's build. Let me know in the comments down below. Do you enjoy Huo Huo? Did you just pull her? Are you enjoying her so far? Is she carrying you through everything in the game right now? Do you think Pride did her dirty? Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. She can be ran on any team if you really wanted to know about that. It really doesn't matter. Maybe not an Acheron team because she doesn't need energy, but every other team that needs energy, she is going to be a great addition to any of those teams. She is just hands down, I think, the best sustained character in the game. You cannot tell me otherwise. Anyways, that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one later. Bye-bye.